Happy Friday, everyone. It's time for First Chapter Friday. If you notice, I wanted to trap a tiger from last week is up here. I loved that one, so hopefully you'll like this one too. I've heard that some people have already been asking about this book already, even before I talk about it. So this week's pick is one that I've happened to find in Scholastic. So look in your book orders for this one. It'll be there if you happen to like it. One of the things I like about this week's pick is that it's a series. There are multiple in the series, and you can keep reading if you like this book. And sometimes you just want to keep going with a good book, right? I also like this book because it's fantasy, and for me, that's something that I don't always like pick up, but once I do, I enjoy it a lot of times. So, can you wait? Can't wait anymore, I bet. This week's title is Zoey and Sassafras, Dragons and Marshmallows. Story by Asia Citro, pictures by Marion Lindsay. Now, I had this book, and I also had this one at my house, and I was trying to figure out, and you can see that I got it at Scholastic. You can see that down here at the bottom. I was trying to figure out, how do I know which one goes first because they're both the same. Do they go together? Do they not go together? So then I looked at the spine, and if you can see, right there it says 1, and on this one it says 4. So when you find books and you're not sure which to read first, if they have the same titles or similar titles and they're in the series, look at the spine, and that tells you if it's the first, second, or third, or whatever. Zoey and Sassafras, Dragons and Marshmallows. Here's the little snippet on the back for us. What if magical animals came to you for help? That's a great question. Oftentimes, writers of stories use what if as a way to create a story. What if this happened, right? After Zoey discovers a glowing photo, she learns an amazing secret. Injured animals come to their backyard barn for help. When a sick baby dragon appears, it's up to Zoey and Sassafras to figure out what's wrong. Will they be able to help little Marshmallow before it's too late? So here's the cover. You can kind of figure out who's Zoey, who's Sassafras, and who's Marshmallow. Here we go. Chapter 1, Bug Circus. And there are 16 chapters in this book. What is it, Sassafras? I crouched down and ruffled my cat's fluffy fur. He was trying to flip over a heavy, mossy rock with his paws. Something good was definitely under there. I gently tipped the rock over onto its side. Yes! I clapped my hands together. This rock was hiding a treasure. 1 billion roly-poly bugs. Okay, maybe not 1 billion, but at least 20. Sassafras took a step forward. Meow. No, don't eat the bugs. That's gross. My cat loves bugs as much as I do, but we love them for different reasons. I love to play with them. He loves to eat them. Now I just needed to think of something super amazing to do with the roly-polies. I held one in my hand, and its tiny feet tickled as it walked. Sassafras trotted over to my pile of stuff and pawed at my thinking goggles. Oh, good idea, I said as I put them on my head. Most scientists wear goggles over their eyes, and I do too, and I need to keep my eyes safe. But when I need to think of brilliant ideas, I wear my thinking goggles on top of my head. That way they're closer to my brain. The roly-poly on my hand walked across a bridge I'd made by touching the tips of my 2 pointer fingers together. I've got it. Let's make a bug circus. I bent some thin twigs into hoops for the bugs to crawl through. Then I set up some small, round rocks for them to balance on. Next, I tied some grass on either end of a flat piece of bark to make a swing that I held low to the ground in case any of my performers fell. My favorite part was a tightrope I made by balancing a long twig between 2 flat rocks. One of the biggest roly-polies crawled up to the twig tightrope. I got down on my elbows in the soft grass to cheer him on. So here she is making the little bug bridge with her 2 fingers, her hands, right? So hopefully you were visualizing that as I read, right? That her pointer fingers were together so the bug could go across. Come on, little buggy, you cannot do it. Almost. No, he tumbled onto the grass. And then another one followed. The bigger roly-polies were having too much trouble. I carefully plucked the smallest of the roly-polies from the ground. Okay, little guy, you might be the smallest, but I think you can do it. Show me what you've got. I placed the tiny roly-poly on one end of the twig. As he crawled along, I held my breath, and I didn't let it out until he was across. He made it! I jumped up, cheered, and looked around for my mom. Then I remembered she was inside packing. I was so used to her being out here with me. Mom is gonna love this. Let's go get her, Sassafras. Come on. I glanced over my shoulder just in time to catch Sassafras creeping toward my circus performers. So here they are playing in the grass there. What will that Sassafras do? No way, kitty. You're coming with me. I do not trust you out here with my bugs. My new little friends are not snacks. Sassafras gave me a stinky eye, but he gave in and followed me. As soon as we got close to the house, I spotted my mom in the window, but she wasn't looking at us. She was looking at our old barn and holding a photo. Chapter 2 is called The Mystery Photo. It's not very long. I think I'll give you a little hint of this one too. Sassafras and I burst into my mom's office. She jumped and quickly hid the photo under a pile of papers before smiling at us. Mom, Sassafras found 1 billion roly-polies under a rock in our yard, and I wasn't sure what to do with them, but then I used my thinking goggles, and we made a circus with a tightrope and everything. Can you come see, please? Have you ever been so excited you put all your words together like that? That sounds wonderful, Zoe. I'm almost finished getting ready for this trip. Give me 5 more minutes? I shrugged and leaned on her desk while Sassafras wove through my legs. I was trying to act like I didn't mind her leaving for a trip, but maybe I felt a little nervous about not seeing her for a whole week. I was also curious about that photo she'd stashed away so quickly. As she packed, I poked at her papers and scooched them around. Whoa, what was that? A purple glow came from under a pile of papers. I pushed the top papers aside and gasped. In the photo was my mom when she was around my age. She was grinning with 2 missing teeth, with a purple frog on her head that was glowing. I almost dropped the photo. Mom glanced over her shoulder. What is it? I held out the photo with trembling hand. This photo, the frog, is glowing. How? My mom spun around so fast that some of the paper she was holding fell and scattered on the ground. You see, Pip? Pip? Who was Pip? What on earth was going on? So the way that Mom said that, you see, Pip? See how those words are slanted? That's called italics. You put a little more oomph into it, a little emphasis. That's telling us how Mom's saying it. And her saying it that way means she can't believe that Zoe can see Pip, whoever Pip is in that picture. And that is the end of chapter 2. If this sounds like a good book, take a look in your Scholastic Book Orders. I'm sure you'll find it there, Zoey and Sassafras. And if you like it, look for the other ones in the series. I only happen to have 1 and 4. I don't even know what happens in 2 and 3, but I bet I need to get them to find out. Happy reading and happy Friday.